episode 4 at the top of your notes,
Yep.
your handy dandy notes you typed up.
Yep. How was tryouts today, or this past
It
weekend?
was yesterday. It was good, man. There was some good young talent, some guys that, at the D2 level you don't really look at freshmen or much past juniors really. Sometimes you get into those sophomores, but a bunch of kids I've never heard of or never really seen play. But there were some hoopers.
I practiced
But
today.
there's a bunch of them. Yeah, how'd it go, dude?
Oh, it was actually a lot better than I thought. The parents are all on board. They're all excited. I was like, man, let's do this. Kids are excited.
So the kid's gonna enter. The kid's gonna play.
No. They worked that out. I let them work that out. There's reasoning behind that, but at least the kids that showed up, they're like, yeah, we're excited, man. I've already been hearing great feedback from the parents. So I was like, all right, perfect. So it'll be a fun 3 weeks.
So I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, welcome back to the Kitchen Hook Podcast, fellas and ladies. Ladies and fellas.
Back. Ladies and gentlemen. We are at episode 4.
Uh-huh. It's gonna
and
be
we
a
have
good
some
one.
tea. We have some tea.
It's always nice.
That we are going to spill a little bit. Kind of a big deal, honestly.
Huge.
But probably one being at the D2 level, it might not get out, but maybe will help it gain some traction here.
I mean, I know for a fact it's already been gaining a lot of traction today. There's some unhappy people. I know.
Yeah, Twitter is blowing up.
Yeah. As for you people that don't know, Hilgs, do you want to kind of let them know what we're talking about?
Well, yeah. The way it works in D2 is they do, they pair up the region. So the RMAC's in with the Lone Star Conference down there in Texas. And so the first couple rounds in that, or is it the national tournament?
Yeah, first 3 rounds.
First 3 rounds of the national tournament are at a home site of the top seed out of that region. And I don't necessarily know if the right one was picked. I don't necessarily know if the right spot was picked. So Bushy, I think you know a little bit more maybe than I do about it. But
well, yeah. I mean, when you say tea was being ready to get spilt, is because our tea came from a reliable source that just years in the coaching world that you just you become friends with so many people that you hear this over and over from different coaches. But basically what happened is West Texas A&M got the 1 seed over Fort Lewis, and a lot of people are not happy with that, just because of kind of the backstory. So really just to kind of give you a little quick rundown, the D2 selection committee in each region has 2 ADs and 2 administrators that split between the conferences. So it's even say or whatever. And then they vote and report to the chairman of their region. Chairman duties, they're ahead of the national committee. They're the chair of the regional advisory committee, and they oversee selections to the national champions and all that stuff. And then they serve as a rep for the prelim rounds and the championship rounds. I think really what we're getting down to is the national chairman of this whole thing is West Texas A&M's AD, Michael
Interesting.
Right? So from what we've heard, yeah, go ahead.
But real quick, give us a rundown of why is it a big deal, because they had a good year too, but why is this a big deal?
So to give you guys just the regional rundown right now, West Texas is the 1 seed, Fort Lewis is the 2 seed. The 3 seed is Colorado Mines, 4 seed Angelo State, 5 seed is Mesa, the 6 seed is Black Hills State, 7 seed Lubbock Christian, and then Texas A&M Kingsville is the 8 seed. But the reason why this is such a big deal is you go back to the final D2 rankings, right? Fort Lewis was 10th in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado Mines was 13th in the nation. Mesa was 14th. BH was 16th, and even Angelo State was 19th. West Texas was 22nd in the nation. That was their first week back into the top 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the region rankings. So, like you were saying earlier, they're all divided. It's every region there's like 16 regions in D2 that all play out to go to the Elite Eight.
Right.
And in those final regional rankings, Fort Lewis was first, West Texas was second, Mesa was third, Angelo State was fourth, BH fifth, Colorado Mines sixth. I mean, those are really the important ones because those are the top six. Those top six are good. They're top 25 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy part about that is Fort Lewis was 3-0 against Lone Star schools, and West Texas was 0-0 against RMAC schools. And they make a big deal about playing within your region. And to me, that stands out a little bit. Against ranked opponents, here's the funny one though.
Right, the one that you were just about to say it. The one that the ranked opponents is the record against ranked opponents is the one that stands out to me.
Yeah.
Fort Lewis 6-2, and I believe those two losses were to RMAC teams, weren't they?
Yep.
One to
Mesa and
Mines.
And
1-2 Mines. And West Texas was 4-5 against ranked opponents. So they played a couple more one more game, I guess, against a ranked opponent. And, obviously had a worse record, but, that's the one that stands out to me on top of the national and regional rankings that you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, granted, they won their they won the Lone Star Conference tournament,
right.
Which, I mean, they had to do that, but they beat one ranked team where Fort Lewis had to go. They shared the regular season championship, but they had to go to Mesa, but they still beat two teams in Grand Junction that are ranked in the top 20.
Mm-hmm.
So
and highly ranked, yeah,
exactly
ranked in the top 20. Who did West Texas have to beat in the Lone Star Conference tournament? Do you know?
Eastern New Mexico. Then they beat Lubbock Christian, and then they beat Angelo State actually on a buzzer beater. Zach Toussaint hit a shot with 3 seconds left.
I saw that. Yeah, shout out Twitter. I saw that.
Twitter with the factual information. But
indeed, always.
Here's something else I wanted to point out too. As we're labeling off numbers, this stands out to me as just like overall seeding 1 through 8 with them. RMAC was the RMAC 4 that made the tournament is 9-1 against the Lone Star, where the Lone Star 4 that made it are 5-3. So like realistically, if thinking about it, to me, it should be 1 through 4 is RMAC seeding. Like those are the 4 best teams.
Yeah. And then the other issue, that comes in is obviously where it's hosted. I saw something on Twitter today of like, obviously Durango isn't as easily accessible as where's West Texas again? I forget the name of the town. Canyon, Texas. They got obviously the big time facilities down there, but it's like, to me, the numbers and just the straight up facts show that Fort Lewis earned that home court advantage, and it's like,
absolutely.
So how are you going to take that from somebody or from some team that has earned it just because, Durango's tough, but grind it out, man. You might have to take a bus instead of flying. You know what I mean?
They're 28-3. Like they're good. We've watched them play all year. They are good. That's a scary team, honestly, because they got guys who can get buckets. Like a Cool Cot's going to give you crunch time, give the ball to a Cool Cot. He's going to make tough shots.
But all of their guards, you know what I mean? Like all of their guards have the ability to make some plays. And so it's like, and in my opinion, maybe it's biased, but good guard play in postseason is what gets it done, because they're making the decisions, they're getting the ball where it needs to be. And so you need good guard play. And, I haven't watched much, if any, of West Texas and Angelo State, but, Fort Lewis, to me, has one of the best backcourts in the country.
Yes. And depth-wise, too, they have guards coming off the bench that are good. Like overall,
absolutely.
What you're saying, I think I'll agree with that. it's it's highway robbery, and everyone knows it. Like
Highway robbery.
everyone knows it. It's like the reason we're saying this is in September, West Texas AD Michael McBroom was appointed the chairman of the NCAA D2 National Committee. So he oversees it all. He's
He's
top
calling
dog.
shots.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
top dog. And it's been confirmed from sources that the South Central region unanimously voted for Fort Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took it to the national level and said, "Hey guys, I need you guys to basically overturn it." I'm not saying that's what he said, but I mean, you can't be that dumb.
People are outraged, like, you know,
And
the
I
RMAC.
don't blame them.
Because here's the deal, like, the Lone Star is typically better than the RMAC. Like on a year-to-year basis, the Lone Star is typically than the top end, a little bit better than the RMAC.
Yeah.
But this year, that is, like, to me, definitely not the case. Just looking at all of these numbers that Bush so graciously put together for us today. That is, like, you said it, highway robbery, because Fort Lewis earned it, and I'm interested to see, like, how does this change? Like, how can you prevent that? Like, how does West Texas manage that? And the only answer is the dude that's at the top,
And I mean, I've seen stuff on Twitter where they're arguing, oh, money, like people are going to say it's a money thing, or like you were saying, just a facility thing. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
It also hurts the town of Durango for a 5-6 day stretch with people coming in from 8 or 7 different schools, fans, all that stuff, restaurants trying to get meals to teams, all that stuff. And like the thing that is crazy to even look at too is they stacked up the RMAC on one side of the bracket. It's basically a do or die situation for three. So I saw this tweet. This is crazy. If Fort Lewis beats Colorado Mines, it's the third time in 3 weeks they played each other. Or if Fort Lewis plays Colorado Mines in the next round. If Fort Lewis plays Black Hills State in the next round, it's the fourth time in 4 weeks that they've played each other. I mean, this is the NCAA tournament. You would think you would want your 6 of your top 25 teams spread out all over the place,
Yeah. Well, and I've heard you brought up finances, like they claim that this is to save money doing it the region wise because it's, saves on travel. But the NAI schools do it. Like they have a national tournament where teams from different regions come and play and it's not all coming from 2 conferences. Don't sit there and tell me that it can't be done.
To your point,
there's enough like major cities and venues where you can make it work for the regions.
Yeah. Like you were saying, I'm pretty sure I saw a team from Louisiana that has to go over to like California and play a team. Like that's what kids want to experience. That's what I saw just like what you're saying, the NCAA Division II has the chance at being the second greatest basketball tournament like that we can witness for college basketball. Second and third, like up there. And when you have regions like this, it takes that away because there's plenty of regions stacked. Like one of the years, I think it was 2 years ago. Do you remember Parker Fox from Northern State?
Absolutely.
Dude could jump. Dude was a freak. But anyway, so that year they were the number 2 team. Northwest Missouri State was the number 1 team, and they met in the regional championship game when that should have been the national championship game.
Absolutely.
That's just not right in my opinion. You can't have the top teams fight to the death in the early rounds, and then you get kind of a watered down Elite Eight.
Yeah. But like in tournament play, I saw a high school coach actually that, they're on Twitter, they were making a fuss about how like this team in Colorado State tournament shouldn't have met this other team this early in the tournament. But the coach, kind of made a rebuttal and was like, you're going to have to meet great competition at some point in the national tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a flip side to that in saying, like, the goal is to have the best teams playing at the end. So yeah, like you are going to have to beat a great team to get to where you want to go, to the national championship or the Final Four or whatever it is. But you don't stack all the best teams on one side so
No,
they all knock each other out and only one comes out. Like that's not what people want to see.
no. I think, yeah, no, I agree. I think that funds is kind of an excuse in a way. There's
Absolutely.
there's ways to get money. There's ways to do this. Like there's ways. And do I have the answer for it all? Maybe not, because I'm not, like, that's not my job. I'm not paid to do that. But there's got to be a different way. So
Absolutely. Well, it's like you don't think a West Texas A&M booster could be like, "Hey, I'm gonna pay for your hotels this weekend for
exactly,
for nationals." You know what I mean? Like, come on now, they got that bread.
for real, all teams have boosters that have that. Like,
We need to see it. Come on now, we need to see it in Durango.
Fort Lewis had the Crocs
But
guy, straight up.
oh man, yeah, they did. He would sit right behind the scores table, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that man. Yeah, he would. That's so
He
funny.
was a diehard baby.
I think he's an alum.
Oh yeah. Every
So
fan base has that though, They all
yeah,
have that fan that gets decked out in the gear and.
BH, shout out Kevin Krogh.
Oh yeah. Big shout out Kevin Crow. He makes the what did he make for us that one time we went over to his house for dinner? Did he smoke something? I think he
Smoked like a
smoked like
turkey or a
ribs or
brisket.
yeah, you're right.
Man, that man
He's a
can
dirty
cook.
dog with the smoker.
That man. The same with Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil could work the smoker.
Uncle Phil, shout out Uncle Phil.
Man had the loudest
Literally, we
cat.
had a dude that lived next to us in college named that we called him Uncle Phil. His name was Phil. And this dude, I think he was from Texas or Louisiana or
Big
something like
man.
that. And he was cool, man. He was had his big smoker out there, and he would be like, "Got like 4 pounds of extra meat for you," like,
Yeah.
all right,
Thanks, man. I'll take it.
got 6 college dudes over here. We're ready to down it.
I will say though, I remember the Cowboys game. They came back. He went crazy, and it was cold outside. It was super cold outside, and he goes outside to have like a celebratory cig, and he
Yeah,
comes knocking on our door and just stands with our door open, and we're like,
wide open.
Phil, it's 10 degrees outside. We can't
You
pay
gotta
heat for
close the
heat.
door.
We're in sweatshirts and sweatpants and blankets for a reason.
Come on, guy.
Not
But he
paying
would
the
come over and kick it with us every once in a while.
what a guy.
Shout out
Oh,
Uncle Phil.
shout out. But oh man, I just personally, I wish the RMAC could have done something. I wish there was a way of, like, coming back from our tangent, but I wish there was a way that you could throw in like I just had the word for it earlier. Like a waiver or a request. You know what I mean? They'll be like, "Hey,
Hey,
look this over."
yeah, yeah.
There's
What
a
is the
word for
word?
that.
There's a
I
word
just
for
had
that
it.
for sure. I
Yeah.
just had it. Oh man, what is the word? Like a grievance, maybe?
No. Yeah, that too, but I just said it upstairs like 30 minutes ago to my dad.
Doesn't that feel good when you like say a cool word or like a big word and it's in the right spot?
It'll come back to me. So if I say a random word in the latter half of this show, it's because of
Yeah,
this moment right now.
we'll know where it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it. What is that? That's gonna bug me. But man, I don't know. It's just, it sucks. It sucks for Fort Lewis because it would have been cool to see an RMAC team host. I mean, off the Fort Lewis, Mines, Mason, BH, all in my opinion are had a better season to host than West Texas. But
Yeah, I think West Texas was certainly more comparable to, like the mines and the Black Hills, but like the Fort Lewis that's inexcusable, you know what I mean? Like it's not even close that they had a better year than West Texas did. Um, but just like, we could say we got the sources and stuff, and which we do. Don't get it twisted. We definitely do. Um, but we don't even need to tell you that. Like you can look at the numbers, look at the Twitter responses, look at everybody going crazy, and you can see for yourself that something was up here.
yeah, I mean, it's like I said, highway robbery, and I remember the word. It's appeal. I wish they could appeal that.
Appeal, nice. There you go.
I know. I ain't gonna lie. I toned you out for like 10 seconds there, just thinking.
You were trying to figure it out.
But
I'm glad it
no,
came to you.
I agree with you because we're both on agreement on this. When I called you, I texted you last night. I said, "Yo, I have some news for you,"
Mm-hmm.
and we both knew. I mean, I knew when
Yeah.
I saw it on Twitter. I was like, "Wait, hold up. West Texas is the 1 seed. What did they do this year? Did they are they
Mm-hmm.
sleeper like top 10 and I didn't even know this type thing?" But no, they're 22nd in the final rankings.
Yeah. Again, you don't need to be a genius to see that there was some highway robbery in the words of Thomas Bush.
That's such a I love that saying right there. In plain
Well,
sight.
we need to. I don't know. How do we involve people in this?
Just comment on it, retweet it, share it.
Hop on Twitter.
That's the best thing you
Maybe
can do. I mean,
maybe mention.
realistically, I mean, there's that. I'm gonna be that guy real quick because he's been doing a great job for back in Fort Lewis up. But that John Livingston,
Yeah, yeah,
old sports journalist down in Durango, dude, he's been going crazy
yeah.
and everything he's been saying, like, bro, this isn't the first time this happened this year. He said, look at the NCAA. This is from his Twitter. Look at the NCAA national tournament for men's soccer when a 6-3-9 West Texas A&M made it when an 11-5-4 UCCS team and others had and others more deserving stayed home. West Texas coach was on the selection committee, and
Unbelievable.
he's
Oh wow.
and his biggest thing is like the RMAC needs to step up and the RMAC needs to start like holding them accountable because it seems
Mm-hmm.
like you were saying earlier, it's like the Lone Star has always been the premier conference of the two, and right now it just
We're
feels
getting
like
pushed around.
they're
RMAC's
pushing
getting
us
pushed
around, and
around
it's just
right
like,
now.
yo, stand up, put your chest out, get rid of your bird chest, and speak your mind, like let it be
Hey,
known.
hey.
You know.
Yeah. I don't got a bird chest. I never did.
I wasn't even gonna say it, but now you said it, so
Yeah, no, I brought it up. But no, the biggest problem is decision makers are way too closely tied to these schools that are getting being able to host these tournaments.
why not make it the sports direct, the SIDs? I mean,
The
the SIDs
SIDs,
make their own poll that's nationally
I think,
recognized. Like we
yeah,
go
and
off of that, so
I think NAI does that they base some of their rankings off. I don't know. We might have to fact check that, but I might have to check with my boy Jake Knobel at Concordia. Um, but no, some's got to be done. They can't have those ties to these schools, man. That's clearly the issue here.
for real, it's kind of nuts, kind of terrible for teams that are 28-3 and really damn good at basketball to get basically hosed.
Let the players be rewarded, man.
But like you said,
Maybe at our boy at West Texas A&M, the AD there, add him on Twitter and just ask him a few personal questions.
I need
Say, hey, what
answers.
happened here?
I
What
need
happened here,
answers.
man?
I
Just
just
be
need to
straight
know
up with us.
if you're, yeah, if you're honest. Hey, just honesty. Let us know you messed up.
Honesty is the best
Let us
policy.
know you said, yeah, conflict of interest. Let him know. Let
Conflict
it
of
be known.
interest.
No, dude, I've had a bad week, man. North Carolina started that off so bad for me.
Oh yeah.
I'm so hurt. I'm so hurt.
Let's talk about that real quick. Just you got to watch the game. I didn't.
Yeah,
What
I
was your
know
take on it?
it, I know, well, first off, I know we said we were going to do a rapid reaction. Things happened. Couldn't find
Mm-hmm.
another guest. None of you people out there wanted to hop on, but it's all good.
It's all
We're going to
right.
get some guests on here
Mm-hmm.
sooner or later that will have a little more heads up. But like that game, man, was so frustrating. I thought we jumped out 6-0, and I was like, okay, we're going to be all right. But it's a standard Duke North Carolina game. It's never going to be
Mm-hmm.
a blowout. It's going to be close. So like I think the biggest thing for me in this is the fact that this team was number one in the nation coming into the season, highly favored to
Yeah.
win the national championship,
Didn't they return
and
a lot of guys?
oh, they returned everyone on that team besides Brady Manick, but he was a grad senior. And
Yeah.
the thing about that hurts so much is all these guys made those "I'm coming back" videos. You know, when people always say, "Oh, I love the
Yeah.
university." We were One guy said we were 3 seconds away from a national championship. We know the work that needs to be put in to do this, and then we lay an egg of a year, probably not even gonna make the NCAA tournament. Like I tweeted
Mm-hmm.
just a minute ago, I'm gonna ride the wave that they're 8-3 neutral court, but NIT baby.
Yeah, they might have to settle for that NIT hardware this year.
I was gonna ask you this though. What Because this is the first year we haven't had Mike Krzyzewski or Roy Williams or like a Dean Smith in the rivalry on the sideline,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I
Right.
know we weren't old enough to remember Dean Smith coaching Carolina. So like with Roy and Krzyzewski doing it for 15 plus years, like that was weird. That was kind of weird to me.
Yeah. No, I think that's like, you see something, you see those two coaches on the sideline, it just becomes synonymous with Duke and North Carolina. But they got two guys that are born and bred from the same blue that they wore when they were in college. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I'm.
but I mean, like you obviously have some strong feelings about old Hubie Davis, what he's doing over there. Haven't you tweeted some things about him?
Yeah, yeah.
One or
It's.
two?
I mean, I'm not. He's a Division 1 head coach for a reason, and I'm not.
Right.
I'll be the first one to admit that. But watching from the side, I just
Respect. Yeah.
I miss when Roy would like kick all 5 starters off the bench and bring in all the walk-ons. Like, nah, you guys
Mm-hmm.
go play. These guys
Not
don't
getting it
deserve it.
done.
And like there's been no like it's the same offense. 4 out, put 2 guys in the corners, set a ball screen, and see what happens. Like
Yeah, just play like
we're
that.
putting Leaky Black in the corner, and they're leaving him wide open to shoot. And I mean, his percentages are up this year, but that's not you, my guy. You
Mm-hmm.
play defense. Like
You play defense. That's your job.
that is your job. Play defense,
Mm-hmm.
attack the rim, be a slasher. Like I just don't
Mm-hmm.
think that. I think there's just a lack of just really accountability right now because
But I
it's
think
evident.
I think that's evident of kind of some fresh coaches too.
Yeah,
Like isn't this Hubie's first or second year, right?
second year, and he's got a
And
good
obviously,
recruiting class coming in.
yeah. Like, and that's the thing too. Like when as much as he was underneath Roy Williams and learning from him and stuff like that, he's going to run things his own way. So he's
Hmm.
probably going to bring in maybe a different
Yeah,
style of players. But um, just they're fresh coaches that are coaching at the highest level, and there's going to be those growing pains, I think, for them that you would expect maybe like, oh, John Shire, he was coaching with Coach K for 10 plus years or whatever it was, and he's going to step right in, but kind of doesn't always work that way. So
yeah.
I think for both of these programs, there might be those years where it's like, shoot, we got to get some stuff figured out.
Duke, though, on the other hand, I said this to you. Their big men made Carolina's big men look terrible. That was
I
two
saw
freshmen.
Filipowski had a great
Bro,
game.
Kyle Filipowski is going to be a problem in the ACC if he
Hmm.
sticks around because that man is the big fundamental of college basketball.
Yeah,
Like, dude, he got 3 offensive rebounds on one possession and then dunked on 2 of our guys. I
I
was like,
saw
yeah, at that point, I was like, it's over.
he had 22 and 13
Yes,
in that game.
he was hooping. If it wasn't for really RJ Davis and Armando Bacot,
You know
we
what I
would have,
didn't realize?
huh?
Larry Nance's little brother, Pete Nance, plays on North Carolina.
Talk about a bust. I mean, here's the
For
thing though.
real?
He
Three
had a bad
points, four
stretch. It's
rebounds.
like we talked about in the previous in the RMAC episode with Thistlewood. It's so hard to come in and do that, like come in and be a
Yeah,
grad transfer. Like
it
what
is.
Brady Manick did last year was hard to do. That's going to be very
Yeah.
hard to do over again because he just came in and was getting buckets right away. But I
Hmm.
mean, North Carolina, I'm pulling up the box score. I want to look at this again and just cry myself to sleep, dude. Derek Lively had how many blocks? 3 blocks. That dude just a rim protector. He had 8 blocks, I'm pretty sure, in the first game. But it was like you asked me right before this, it was a spitting image of the first game. Like Carolina could not score, couldn't get stops when we needed to, and Duke just bullied us.
Yeah.
And that's what I
Man,
get for us beating Duke in the Final Four last year. Is we signed that contract. Said, "Yep,
yeah. Signed your lives away, huh?
you can have this one win, but it's going to be torture for a couple of years."
And I love it. I love to see it. But yeah,
I hate
it
it.
just looks like I mean, wasn't great offensively for either team. 37%, 38% from the field for Duke, 30% from. They made 17 shots. North Carolina made 17 shots the whole game.
Oh, secondly, talk about like North Carolina. Here's the thing: like North Carolina just does not utilize their big men well enough anymore. That's the thing. That's the difference that I've noticed from Hubert and Roy. Is Roy had your standard massive dude down low and then a big 4 man that could run the court and
Yeah,
was athletic. Now it's just a
yeah.
big man and 4 guards essentially.
Well, and with Roy Williams, it was like the thing I always remember about North Carolina teams is they killed people on the glass.
Oh
Like
my God,
they
all
were
the time.
always getting second chances, always killing teams on the glass, and that's what like as talented as they were, as all of that, like that was always what they did.
And they were good in transition.
Yeah,
Speaking of the
transition is
point,
crazy.
like in the point of like the other team made a bucket and they're down the court. Like you had the, I
Hmm.
remember like Jay Billis always said like you have to get back on defense when you're playing these guys because ball goes in
Yeah,
the hoop and they're at half court already. Like they're looking to
yeah.
get buckets off the secondary break.
And on the flip side of that, like when you're playing against a team like that, you feel like you can't crash the offensive glass, but they were so good at crashing the offensive glass and getting back that like that puts so much pressure on the other team. It's like we know we're getting one shot because we feel like we can't crash the glass, get second
Hmm.
chances, and they're getting a bunch of second chances on the
Yeah,
other end. It's just puts so much pressure on your offense.
dude, John Shire's a genius. He said he basically from looking at this, he basically said, "Let Leaky Black beat us." Dude shot 3 of 16.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done. Well, like
Come
you
on,
said, he's not being put in positions to where he's going to be successful.
no. 1 for 7 from the 3 point line, but I mean, it is what it is. ACC tournaments coming up. We'll see how they do, but I'm not. I'm just gonna be hopeful until they just break my heart again.
You think they need to win it to get in?
They have to, or at least make the championship game.
Yeah,
In the latest, I saw Bracketology's latest thing there in the first 4 outs still, but that was
yeah, I saw
tonight's.
that
But
too.
no, I think if they lose first round or like second round, it's over. Like they have to make it to the championship game. I think if they would have
Yeah,
beat Duke, then easier road. But The amount of
Yeah.
quad one wins they have is so bad.
Yeah, Duke. I think Duke. They make an early exit in the tournament, not necessarily round 1 or 2, but I don't think they make much of a run if they get in or when they
Round
get in.
two.
They're going out round 2.
Maybe it'd be a classic Duke first round exit year.
Do not say such things.
Like
That
the
happens
Mercer year.
It happens too much. It happens too much.
So much. The Mercer year with Jabari Parker, that was nuts.
Yeah, that was inexcusable. And then was Lehigh year with CJ McCollum, was that first round?
That was 15-2. That was a 15-2 game.
Yeah, so that was first round.
That was crazy too, because I did not see that one coming. You don't see Duke
No.
losing in the first round, but like you said, it happens way too much.
Way too much, man. It's like every other year they go out in the first or second round.
For real. We need to get this next episode. We'll get a guest on. We'll get Clem Rob.
Mm-hmm.
For all the people listening, we're gonna start.
We also need to get like intro music, dude.
Yes, I know
and
that
outro
too.
Music.
If there's anyone listening that is a graphic design person, please hit me up because I have the perfect idea for me and Tate's background picture and like design logo for this.
Yeah.
It's the header that I have on our Twitter account of us at that picture at Western. I was doing the bird call to someone.
Yeah.
And is that one, and then we'll just have the Kitchen Hook podcast over it.
Yeah, no, I really like that.
But
and,
like
also,
the picture be animated, like you know how they do that animated like style looking.
That'd be dope. Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. We need
That's
someone please come forward and
music people.
I'll Venmo you $5 or something. Like
we'll work out some costs. We'll we'll advertise your work for you on this. We'll shout you out.
There you go.
Times.
That's even better. That's even better than $5.
Yep. And then like you said, the music, man, we need to figure that out because I don't.
Yeah, we need to get intro and outro music.
A DJ, or not a DJ, or someone who mixes music up to throw us something together.
Yeah, DJ Clem Rob, maybe. I know he would mix something up for us.
It's gonna be that SoundCloud stuff, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
The stuff we've never heard of. Like you just hear it, and you look over to your shoulder, like.
Like, man, what are you playing, Clem?
It's like when he found My Team, by Lil Mouse or whatever that was.
What? Wasn't it just My Team?
I want to make money with my team.
My team.
Played that over and over and over again. Why we let him do such things? I don't know, but it's Clem Rob.
We've learned that it's just a part of our lives, and that's again why we love him.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to get. I know I've got some guys in my shout out Western, some guys from the Western crew that are like, man, I want to be a guest. So
absolutely, man.
The more the merrier.
We're always game for some guests.
Just if you want to be a guest, just be ready to provide some opinions when we talk hoops.
Yeah.
So don't be
correct,
scared.
Please.
Absolutely.
We try to come correct every time. Maybe sometimes we don't. Who knows? But we try to.
We try. But I don't know. I think you got anything else for the people?
No, man. Just listening to the Kitchen Hook podcast. Like I said, we're spilling some tea this episode. And
Spotify. Go ahead.
Also, chime in.
Yes,
chime
please.
in on what if you have any strong feelings in this area.
I'm sure this is going to hit some West Texas people. Chime in if we,
absolutely
hit us with what you got. We won't take.
We're ready for the smoke
all day, every day.
We're ready
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Tune in, like, subscribe, follow, comment. Like Hilgs just said. Episode
Kitchen 4 podcast
out.
Boom.